Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Fearless Morning Show, where we are having confessions and conversations about your everyday life. Happy Tuesday. My name is Yamitra Jojo Waddell, the only Live Past Crazy specialist. So what better place to be than here with me? I hope you guys are ready to get your morning started. My co-host is asleep this morning, so hopefully she'll wake up because she's knocked out over here. So hope everybody's ready to get this morning. Good morning, Miss Margaret. Hope you guys are ready to get this morning started. I'm sitting here watching the sun come up. Have you guys ever woke up to watch the break of day and to listen to the world come alive? Is it not amazing who God is and what he does every single day? Like, he brings the world to life every morning, and we think we're doing something. But when you're up early in the morning, you're out and you take that fresh, deep breath and you hear everything come awake, it's an amazing time. If you ever want to hear from God or experience his greatness, there it is. First thing in the morning. The break of day. Listen to the world come alive to start its day. Isn't that amazing? It's amazing. Good morning.
Hey, good morning. Good morning.
Okay.
Oh, it's not going to show up good. I thought I had it set up, but it's okay. It won't work.
Yes, Miss
Hey,
Margaret.
y'all. Yes, contributed nothing and received everything. That is awesome. Awesome.
Yes, it is.
All right, guys. Good morning. Good morning, and welcome to the Fearless Morning Show. I see my co-host was over there getting her praise on this morning
Yes,
in
ma'am.
her own special way. But
That's
yes, it
right.
is a beautiful day. Being thankful for everything. No, it's not Thankful Thursday. It's Tuesday. It's Take Action Tuesday.
That's
Um,
right.
so I wanted to take some action today, but it's not going to show up the right way on Facebook. From this board because everything is showing up backwards on my screen. But for our financial confession and conversation this morning, I wanted to talk to you guys about just showing up in your life, showing up in your finances. What are those things that you need to do? Because oftentimes we get in a situation, guys, where we are just we keep waiting for the right things to fall into place, right? I remember a time going through life and dealing with situations and circumstances, and I would always say, well, let's just wait, right? I need to wait until I get this right. I got to wait until I, finish school, or I got to wait until I get the car. I got to wait until I get married, or I have to wait until I have to wait. I have to wait. I have to wait. And that's the thing that we keep telling ourselves. But the message today is, guys, is that your convictions don't live in the same place with your convenience. All right? You cannot continue to stay in convenience. You cannot continue to stay in this place of waiting, right? And trying to now move to your next. So stop waiting to do whatever that thing is that you need to do to get to your next. Is Rosie all right over there?
She waking up. She was asleep.
Oh, okay. Okay. I can tell you doing some mommy duties over there. Um, but guys, convenience and conviction do not live in the same place. And it's not going to show up on my board over here. So let me show y'all. Let me move this over, because if we keep talking about convenience is way over here and conviction is off the screen over there. Conviction is basically what are those things that are going to get you to where you want to be, right? Whether it's financially, whether it's in a relationship, whether it's your health, what are those things that are going to get you to where you need to be? And I love that Grant Cardone teaches. I don't know if you guys what is his book called? 10X.
Love 10X. I'm listening to it for the third time.
Well, if you haven't read it, go read it, or at least go listen to it, right? If you're listening to it on Audible, go download the book, y'all, because it's a different way of thinking. And just to sum it up really quickly, um, what Grant Cardone talks about a little bit is the fact that everybody's talking about wanting to be a millionaire. He said, but you really need to 10x that number, right? It really needs to be $10 million that should be your goal. And why does he teach the 10x goal? He says because what we have to focus on is what is freedom for you. And the target for freedom, right? You have to put an actual number on it. What is the freedom you want? You want freedom from worry. You want freedom from, not being concerned about your money. So your target has to be a number. Your target has to be in a place where you can now be able to achieve that. And one of the other things that he teaches that I love that many of us have to grasp, I'm working on this too myself. So that's the reason I'm having this conversation. I'm working on this too because I'm not there yet. I'm on the way. Trust and believe. I am on the way, but I'm not there yet. So I'm working on my 10x and 2, y'all. Okay. So in looking at that, how do you now get to the point? Because I don't want to be up there by myself. I need some good friends with the same mindset to go with me, right? Because it's not fun out there trying to hang out by yourself, right? I don't know anybody that, well, sometimes it is, but okay, not always, right? So in looking at that, guys, so then what is your target? Identify what your target is for you as you're moving along on this journey, because we cannot continue to stay in this place of convenience. And one of the things that he teaches, one of the concepts, if you will, if I can just summarize it really quickly, is that we should be at a point, you should be at a point, I should be at a point to where we're able to put aside 40% of our income. Okay. And he says, once you are able to put aside this 40% of your income, and he said, put it in storage. Don't put it, it's not saving, because savings doesn't do anything for you. And I'm going to tell you why savings doesn't do anything for you. I have a chart right here. I want to go over with you. This is one of the reasons, and I want to share how inflation has impacted the dollar, okay? How inflation has impacted the dollar, because in the 1950s, your money would buy way more than it, does today. And I had a chart, y'all. I had it right here. And then I just don't know what I did with it. Here it is. All right. So in this chart in the 1950s, just to give you an idea of what inflation does. And this is another reason, guys, why you don't just put your money in the bank and save it and think that it's going to be okay. All right. Because inflation, for one, is growing at 3%. But in looking at this chart in 1950, y'all, the average income was $3,216. Think about where you are today. The average income in 1950 was $3,216. Now, that was the middle class family. A cost of a car was $1,500. All right. A house was $8,450, and minimum wage was 75 cents. All right. Come up to 2000. So that was 1950. 50 years later, in the year 2000, the average income was $41,000, $41,300. All right. The car, $24,800. A new house, $134,000 on average. And minimum wage was $5.15. That was back in 2000. Okay. So looking at that, see the decreasing ability of the dollar, the decrease of the purchasing power of your dollar. That's what happens to your dollar when you leave it in the savings account and you don't do anything about it. Guys, you have to make your money, keep your money, and grow your money. That's the message that I'm trying to share with you this morning. So how do you now figure out what are those things that you need to do? Because once you have these money set aside, once you've 10x your income, you found this target, you have your 40%, right? And we're all working to get to that point. But then you say, well, Lynn, what do I do after I get to that point? That's where you're investing. You get the investing education along the way so that you can now be able to move to your next. So I wanted to give you some things that you should include in your investing checklist. What are some of the things that you need to have along the way as you're preparing, as you're growing, as you're 10xing, right? As you're moving from this place of convenience to where your convictions are. The first thing that you need to figure out is, where are you on the scale of your financial knowledge? right? Where are you on a 1 to 10? Do you have a low financial knowledge, a level 1, or is it high, level 10? Figure out where you are. And that's going to be something that's only relevant to you, because you don't have to tell anyone else. You know that's where you are. And then you make a goal and say, okay, I need to go up. If I'm at a 5, I need to at least increase to a 7 or an 8 this year, right? If I'm at a 1, well, I have a lot of work to do. So what are the things that you need to do to level up, right? So that you can now move. See, this concept that I'm talking about 10x, this is foreign for some people. Some of you will not even get it yet, because you're still at that level 1 or level 2 or level 3 when it comes to your financial knowledge. And it isn't until you start to move up the scale that you understand, recognize, and identify, okay, now this is important. This is something that I can do to level up. So again, it goes back to mindset. Always goes back to mindset, right? Whether we want to believe that or not. The second thing, guys, you have to have and understand is you're going to need a trusted team, okay? Who are those people who are going to be on your team, your trusted team that you need to have in place, that are going to help you, right, to make your money, keep your money, and grow your money? And I'm just going to give you a list of some people that you have to have on your team, okay? These are people you have to have on your team. The tax planner, number 1, guys. There are so many different tax implications that are out there. Good morning, Chris. Thank you for joining. There's so many different things out there that are happening. Tax laws are changing. There are different implications that are being applied upon us that we need to be aware of. You need an attorney. You need financial advisors. You need realtors and mortgage professionals. All of these people are considered to be your trusted financial advisors, or your trusted team of advisors in your life. And if you have children, you need a college planner. You definitely need a financial mentor on your team. And don't forget about your insurance agent, y'all. All of these are very important components of your financial team. All of these, I know you cannot be an expert in every area, right, when it comes to your finances, but that's why you have the team. That's why you have these trusted individuals that you can now go to, who are going to be able to help you, right, as you move forward, as you continue to grow, learn, and understand how to make your money, keep your money, and grow your money. Okay, guys. The next thing that you need to have in place, see, we're talking about your investment preparation checklist. These are all the things that you have to do. These are your must-dos. These are your non-negotiables, all right? If you want to do it the right way, if you want to do it the right way. The next thing, guys, and I know we don't like to hear this, but you need an emergency fund no matter what. You need an emergency fund, a contingency fund, whatever you want to call it. You need that regardless. No matter what you're investing in, no matter what you plan to do with your money when you 10x it, right? You need to have some capital that'll be available to support you in the event things happen, and things will happen. That's just life. So go ahead and make sure that you set that aside, right? And typically, and y'all gonna be like, what in the world, Lynn? Typically, y'all try to set aside 6 to 24 months. And that's you say, wait a minute, that's a huge gap. But that is dependent upon you, your families, your situation, and your circumstances. And you probably say, I've never heard anybody say have 24 months emergency fund. If you can get there, get there. All right? Definitely try 6 months. Okay? 6 months at the bare bone minimum is going to be the best positioning for you, because, guys, we are talking about what was our target. Your target is freedom. Freedom from having to worry about money. Freedom from having to worry about where your next meal is going to come from. Freedom from having to worry about whether or not you're going to still have that roof over your head. So we have to begin to put these things in place that are going to now protect us, that will allow us to do this. The next thing, guys, I'm on number 4. The fourth thing. So before I give you number 4, let me go back and recap. Assess your knowledge. This is your investment preparation list. Assess your level of knowledge. What's wrong?
No.
Oh, okay. I
Rosie
thought
was
you were about
pointing at something out the window.
Oh,
She
okay.
just woke up.
All right. So looking at where you are as far as your financial literacy and the level of knowledge you have in regards to making, keeping, and growing your money. Get your trusted team. Who are those people who need to be in your team? Those advisors that you need. Your emergency savings account. Make sure that you get that in order. And then finally, once you have your emergency fund, guys, you need your risk capital. What is your risk capital? That's money that you can invest without having those dangerous financial circumstances fall upon you that are going to push you right back to where you were in the beginning. Okay, so make sure that you have this in place, and that risk capital is going to be the money that you can invest by a certain date. All right, so make sure that you go through and understand the difference between what it is that you need to live on and what it is that you're going to need to save. And I know I shared some very high level, out of the box type thinking things for some of you. And I get it, because it took time for me to get to this progression. It took time for me to even get to the thought pattern of saying, wait a minute, I'm going to save 40% of my income. It takes a while to get to that point, especially if you're in the very, and I get that, guys. I started out in the very beginning, just like everyone else. 73% or higher than that of Americans live paycheck to paycheck. So I get it. I was in that number. I was the majority. I was living paycheck to paycheck. So I get it. So it's a definite transformation that has to happen in order for you to progress from going to having just paycheck to paycheck to try to pay these things off every, when you get the money, to the point to where you can now start to save. And then not only saving 1%, 5%, 10%, but now how do you grow that to go to 20%, 30%, and even 40% that you're saving, but you're not saving it just to save it, right? You're not saving it just to save it. He says, because when you save your money, he said, it's just like just putting it in storage, right? And your money is nothing but paper. Okay, so understand that what happens to paper if you leave it just sitting around for a long time? If you have it sitting around for a long time and it's not in a well encased area, what it starts to do, rot, mildew, you get holes in it, it wrinkles up even in your wallet. So it's a perishable item. So money has to move, essentially, is what he's saying. So get your money to a place where you can now start to move it. And by moving it, that means leveraging the funds that you have available, guys, so that you can now invest in other opportunities, so that you get to the point where your money is now making you more money. What a wonderful place to be when your passive income exceeds the income on your salary. Now, how would that feel? When your passive income, the money you don't have to work for, your money is working for you, exceeds your income from your job. See, that is a truly, that's just a goal, game-changing goal for me. And I don't know if you buy into that philosophy yet or not, but if you keep hanging around us, you'll start to move in the same direction, guys. But it is time. It's time for us to level up. You cannot stay in the place of your convenience. Your convictions and your convenience do not live in the same lane. Okay? Guys, I'm Lynn Dimmons, America's #1 financial rebound coach. Yeah, I said it, America's #1. I didn't even say that at the beginning, but that's okay. I'll say it again. I'm Lynn Dimmons, America's #1 financial rebound coach. Yes, I said it, America's #1. If you are ready, guys, to start this conversation around how do I move from this place of convenience to conviction? How do I start getting the information that I need to start investing? I have a course. You can go ahead and download it, guys, around investing. How do you get started investing? It's the intro to investing. You can get in there, go download it. It's Invest on Demand. So bit.ly/invest on demand. Go ahead and get the basic information in your back pocket so you can get started. Level up. Do number one. Assess where you are as far as your knowledge is concerned. Okay? Because if you don't know where you are, how do you know where you're going to go? Right? If I'm out here in the middle of one of these peach trees in Atlanta and I don't know which peach tree it is, because you know there's a lot of peach tree streets in Atlanta, okay? I'm out here on one of these peach tree streets, but I don't know which one I'm on and where I am. And I say to somebody, can you help me? I'm out here on Peachtree. What is the probability of success of somebody finding you and locating you if you just say that? So you have to know where you are. So first of all, start by assessing your current situation, where you are as far as your level of knowledge, right? In regards to financial literacy. And then from that point, you can now move, get the additional knowledge that you need, get the additional accountability that you need, get the additional advisors that you need in your circle. All right, guys, thank you so much for joining us. Go to bit.ly/invest on demand. All right, over to you, co-host.
Guys, make sure, and it is, as you change your mindset, it will be easier to develop that circle. Now you can't, in the beginning stages, it's hard to wrap your mind around, where do I even find these people and why would they even work with me? But
Right,
as
exactly.
you learn, your circle will grow, and it's a lot easier than you think, because it benefits two people. It benefits them if you grow, and it benefits yourself as well.
Right.
So it's a twofold. So you got to think about that. All right, guys. Lynn doesn't know this, but my topic comes from Grant Cardone today, 10X.
Yeah.
Because I have listened to this book 3 times, and I tell you, he and it's real. It ain't nerdy stuff. It's just basic stuff. And this is something that he said the other day that I was like, this is just what the morning show needs to hear. Number one, and then number two, I was like, how many times have I heard this in my life? He said, and sometimes think about this, when people are giving you advice, sometimes they say you doing too much. You letting life pass you by. You work too much. And he said basically what it is that and I had to write this down. Like, I paused this 3 times to write this exactly how he said it. Your abundance of activity highlights other people's deficiency of activity. That's why they say those little things like, it's not all about work, you doing too much, you letting life pass you by. They are offering it as advice because your too much activity highlights their lack of activity.
Yes.
Is that not insane? So think
Yes.
about that. And what he's saying is, everybody that tells you you're doing too much, all your
Right.
friends and family that say you work too much, JoJo, Lord, when you gonna rest? When you gonna do this? That's because they're so busy paying attention to all the things that you're doing, it's making them self-conscious of the things they're not doing.
Yes.
And so they think so they assume they're offering you an advice because I'm chilling. I need you to chill with me. Don't do too much. Relax a little bit. Don't work so hard. But in all reality, maybe they need to pick it up a little bit. So today, guys, pay attention to people who are offering you advice. How are they saying it? And then past them offering you advice and how they're saying it, look at their actions as opposed to your actions. And here's the realest thing you will ever find in life is when you start changing. Let's forget Grant Cardone, even though he's my man. I love Grant Cardone. You can catch him live on YouTube on Tuesdays. Or is that my other guy? Anyway, he's live on YouTube some days. So, but here's the realest thing. And this is coming from my confession, something that once it hit me, number one, it hurt my feelings, not to the point where I felt bad or somebody made me feel bad, but it hurt my feelings to the point where people have lack of knowledge or have lack of wanting less that is acceptable. But when you start to change, when you decide you don't want to live in crazy anymore in your life and your finances, when you decide you don't want this crazy relationship, when you start making those little bitty changes and you find that before we used to say, I don't have enough time in the day. And you start paying attention to where you're spending your time, and you start eliminating things that are time consuming that do no longer serve you. And then you start
Right.
putting into place other actions. You will be surprised when you stop and look at your friend circle, the difference between lifestyles. And not only will you recognize the difference of lifestyles, you'll realize that when you take away all the extra, what is the relationships really built on? Like,
Right.
what is the
Mhm.
common foundation of your relationship with that person? Once you start to change. Now, I'm not saying one person is better than the other, but it is an eye-opening experience when you start to change your
Okay.
life and you start to do certain things and you start to change how you look at things, how you live. And then it's going to bring to light those relationships that may not have been built on a solid foundation. Sometimes our relationships are built on common complaints or common whatever the common denominator is. We both hate this job, we both hate this man, we both broke, we both live here, we both, and so it's built on common complaints and not common outlook on life. And so when you start to change that, you're going to start to see, you're going to you're not going to be like, oh, let me pay attention to this relationship. Like all the time I tell you guys, check your relationships. This is actually going to come to the forefront where you don't even have a choice but to pay attention to it. Because when you start to change certain things and you move it along slowly, what you're going to
Right.
find is as you're changing, your conversation changes, and the people you used to hang out with no longer can enhance or give you what you need conversational wise, friendship wise. And it's not because that they've done anything wrong. It's because you have truly changed. So
Right.
when I tell you that hurt me to my heart, and then I went into the mode of, well, let me educate you or help you about something that I've learned. And what this hurt my feelings again. They don't want to, boo. They don't want it, and they don't care to listen to what you have to say, and they could care less about you living past crazy in your life and your finances because it does not interest them. Because what you'll find, if you show up at the Fearless Morning Show every morning, what Lynn and I say eventually is going to rub off on you. It has no choice, because you're going to be in the middle of doing something, you be like, Lynn told me to check this, or JoJo said that phrase sound familiar. Now, didn't they talk about that on the morning show? And the next thing you know, you have changed. You're starting to change your thinking habits. You have no choice. Correct, Charlene. There's some people that absolutely do not care. But I encourage you guys on if you send me a little message, I'll send you a link for 30 days free for Audible where you can listen to 10X for free. It is life changing. And he said, your abundance of activity highlights other people's deficiencies of their inactivity. And that's why they say little things like you work too much, you do too much, you letting life pass you by. That's because you doing too much is showing them how little they are doing, and they feel bad about themselves, or they're silently checking themselves like, dog. And because here's my thing. You know what I don't understand, Lynn? Let me tell you what I don't understand. I don't understand this, Charlene. How people with no children, even if they have kids, or let's say they got kids, they say, girl, I'm so tired. Oh, I don't work today. If they don't have any kid, I done came home. I'm tired. I done work. What you gonna do? Take a nap, child. I'm about to take a nap. What you gonna? It's Saturday. What you gonna do? Well, I plan on staying in the bed till 1 o'clock, and then I'm get up and I'm go grab something to eat, and I'm come back, and I'm just gonna veg out on the couch. And that's your every weekend event. But then you want to tell me I do too. I got 2 kids who are very active, no family support. My family doesn't live near me. So I'm winging this thing all on my own. And then at the time, good morning, D, how you doing? Going to school, and I'm doing all of this, and they more tired than me. How that work, Lynn? How that work? Because at one point, I had a 7-month-old, a 7-year-old. I was in school for my master's degree. I was driving, commuting almost 2 hours to work. No family, breaking my back to make ends meet every day, and somehow managed to start a business, finish school, graduate, and their sole purpose, girl, I done went to work. I'm so tired. How you gonna be tighter than me? Is what I want to know. How's that, Lynn? Why are they more tired than me?
See you trying to get me to throw some
We not throwing shade up in here. We are spitting facts. D, here's the topic. We're talking about Grant Cardone in his book at 10X. One of the things he talked about is your abundance of activity highlights other people's deficiency of activity. And that's why people say you do too much. You work too much. You let life pass you by. They offering it up as advice when really they tired of you saying everything you doing, and it's pointing out everything, the inactivity of what they doing. And we not throwing shade. We are stating simple facts. Carry on, Lynn. What was you gonna say?
Girl, I want to be nice. So I was trying to think of the most tactful way to say this morning. And I think it's not that they're tired, they're uninspired. They don't feel empowered. They're not motivated. They don't have, true goals that they're working towards. Because if you had a true goal, if you truly understood your why, yeah. She said, slow your roll. Yes,
I'm sorry, D.
Yes,
my bad, D. I was a little excited this morning.
Yes. Yeah. And they tired, all right. They're uninspired.
And it's exhausting.
Yeah, it is. It is exhausting to not have any goals. It's exhausting to go through the same minutia day in and day out and not truly know why you're doing it. You don't have any passion behind it. You don't know what your purpose is. You just feel like you're just going through the motions, right? That's what it is. They're not tired. They're uninspired. Guys, come get some inspiration. Come get some motivation. Come get some empowerment. Borrow some of mine, because I stay on 10 over here. Borrow some of mine, y'all.
I'm just saying.
Let me sit down for a second, right?
I'm saying.
Borrow some of mine so you can get to your next. And then just, and I know I don't like fake it till you make it, but faith it till you make it. How about some of that,
Yep.
right? Let's faith it until we make it, guys, because there's no reason for us to be out here in these situations. And I shared a quote the other day. See, you got me started.
I'm laughing at D. D said one goal. Hey, D, right. At least you got one goal. But here's what hurt my feelings again is that yeah, you can sit down, Charlene. We got you, boo. Here's what hurt my feelings again. Some people, that's truly all they want in life. And I get upset because I want so much more for them than they want for themselves. And then so I get upset. Thank you, Miss Valerie. And let me tell you, this faith walk is not for the faint at heart, boo. It ain't for people trying to play out in these streets. Because you'll get eat up and thrown back. I'm sorry, Lynn. Go ahead and finish your thought.
No, ma'am. I was just about to break out in Frozen again. I think that needs to be my theme song. Let it go, let it go. I can't hold back anymore. Just let it go, right?
Yeah.
Get out there, guys.
People, they are afraid that if they hope and dream and start to accomplish something, that perhaps they will succeed and people will demand more of them than what they're giving right now. Well, that's the end of the show. I'm just saying.
Well,
I'm just saying, some people are afraid of success because it will put more demands on them than they are willing to give. They are A-okay living less than, because when they do less than compared to other people, it seems as if they are great. So, y'all, we talking truths over here this day. Yes, fear of success, Charlene. It ain't no joke. But let
and
me
it
tell you.
goes right back to what we started out with at the beginning. Your convictions do not live in the same circle as convenience. What's
But
convenient
let's
to
ask
you?
this question, Lynn. Let's ask this question. If I want less than in life, how can I say, or how can I believe in a God who tells me I can have abundance and I can do all things and I am great, but I am choosing to live in lack? Can you break that down for? I'm just saying. I just want to know.
I'm not even gonna touch that one with a 10-foot pole because you told them the answer in your question.
Woo! I just wanted to know. Because to me, if I am professing Jesus and I love the Lord with my whole heart, and every Sunday I am proclaiming his word, but I live in less than and lack, because every day he gives me not only the idea, the option, and the opportunity to go to accomplish his goal, but I'd be like, nah, Jesus, I'm going to take what you told me and sit on over here on this couch and take me a nap.
Convenience.
What Lynn say? Convenience.
Yes. Convenience. Convenience doesn't live in the same place as your convictions.
Well, I'm just saying. That's not what I meant to talk about this morning. But it's Grant Cardone's fault. Because when I tell you, he said that thing and I had to write it down.
How you gonna blame that on Grant Cardone?
Because I need somebody to blame. He said your abundance of activity highlights other people's deficiency of activity. And that's why they telling you do too much. That's why they say you always on 10, you always extra. You need to rest. Maybe your body need to rest. You need nope. Because if I stop, then what's gonna happen? Because I need Jesus to be in a real good mood when I get in line up there. I need him to be in the best mood. Like, look, Lord, I took everything and I doubled it. Are you getting where you want or need to be? That's right, D. People need to ask that question. D, where you been? I ain't seen you in a while, man. You ain't been on the show. That's a good question. Are you getting where you want or need to be in life? No. And some people will complain. What's Lynn points again? I'm pointing them like they on my screen. Convenience and conviction. So some people would rather complain about it than be about it, than do it. Because it's easier to complain. When I complain, I don't have to take on the responsibility of changing. Thank you, Charlene. Yeah. Oh, I forgot you work overnight,
D. We collect the collection. We need an offering before you leave. Don't tip out the door. Don't put that one finger up while you try to sneak out the back. Because we done told you what you need to do, okay?
I'm just saying. All right, guys, let me tell you this quote one more time and we're going to truly end the show. This is Grant Cardone. If you send me a message on Facebook and tell me you want the book, I'll send you the link for the free 30-day Audible. And the book is 10X by Grant Cardone. This is what he said. Look, I done cut off all my words. You hear me? I'm just...
You did. That's okay. That's okay.
He said, your abundance of activity highlights other people's deficiency of activity. And that's why they say things like, it's not all about work. You do too much. You work too much. Life is passing you by. Sometimes they are offering it up as advice when simply they want you to stop so they don't look bad.
Hmm.
So check your people. And if you missed what I said earlier about my feelings being hurt, because when you start changing what you say and what you do, and you start adding activity, you'll realize your conversations are not the same with your friend. Some of my friends, I can't have the same conversation anymore because I'm not with them anymore. I'm not in that mindset anymore. I don't want
Yeah.
to. And some people I can call in and I never have to participate in the conversation. All I got to say is, oh, well, yeah, okay, nah, really? That's all I got to say. And we done had a full-blown conversation because there's nothing for me to contribute to the conversation, and there's nothing they contribute to my conversation. And when you get to that, and it's not about them being less than you or you being better than, it's simply that we are on different levels, and you got to respect the level that you are on or that you're going to.
Yes.
So, all right, guys. Thank you so much for joining the Fearless Morning Show. Lynn, you want to tell them where they can reach you right fast?
Yes, guys, I'll employ you. Go over to my website, check it out. There's so much information. If you're ready to level up, yep. You ready? Yeah, she on another level now.
What's
That's
up,
right.
D?
That's right, on another level. But guys, go over to my website, demonsenterprise.com. That's Demons, no demons here. DEMMONS.
That's
Yes, we're
next on
talking
my
about
list.
some broken. Yeah, yep, absolutely,
Thank
John.
you,
Thank you
John. How
for
you
putting that
doing?
up. Yes, guys, come on over, demonsenterprise.com. There are some free resources over there for you. Take advantage. Look through my website as well. Also, if you're ready to start on this investing game, get the knowledge you need. Assess where you are and level up. All right, because the journey begins by knowing where you are and then deciding your target. You need a target. Where is it that you want to be? Right.
Mm-hmm.
Where is it that you want to go? What is it that you want to accomplish? So you can actually build a roadmap and start taking the steps to get there. Let me stop so I can close out the show. We closing out the show. demonsenterprise.com. Go over there and check it out, guys. Also, I'm on Instagram and Twitter as Demons Speak. Again, that's Demons. No demons here, y'all. DEMMONS. All right, guys. Thank you so much for joining. Over to you, co-host.
Thanks, D. I appreciate you joining. Get some rest, man. He works overnight. He is in IT, doing his thing. I'm not mad at him. I'm proud of him, man. And listen, my nephew is now in the red and black at East. I've been at Central blue and white my whole life, so now I'm cheering for the red and black East. I never thought I'd say that. We were in rival high schools growing up. Thank you, John. I appreciate you for listening. All right, guys, please make sure that you share the morning show. If your friends and family, and this little girl's about to hit the window off this car. If your friends and family do not have Facebook, we do have a YouTube channel so they can binge watch the Fearless Morning shows over there, and they are by title. So feel free to grab a show and share it with somebody. Tell a friend, tell a foe, tell your co-workers, your man, your ex, your boo thing, your mom and them. Tell everybody.
Your
If you know
side piece.
your side piece, your dime piece, whatever you want to call it, dog. They need to learn to live past crazy too. Send them on over here to the Fearless Morning Show, and we will take care of them. If you need some foundations, the 5 keys to live past crazy is free. Go to bit.ly 5K life so you can get that. And guys, I just hope you have an amazing day. We will see you here bright and early tomorrow morning at 7:15. I promise we won't be. No, I ain't even gonna promise we ain't even gonna be on 10,000 tomorrow, because Grant done set me all the way up today. And thank you, John. I'm going to get his planner. That's one of the things. I'm going to check that out today, too. All right, guys. I hope you have a great day. Y'all be safe, and we'll see you in the morning.
Signing off.